So hey guys, it's day 24 of SSSVEDA, vlogging every day in April. And today's topic, it's one I've been looking forward to but still dreading at the same time. It's no one of those favorites, and as you've seen from some of my other videos, I have a hard time picking favorites. So I'm going to throw out a couple of things at you. Today's topic is our favorite movie. So favorite movie, man. What movie would I want to be stranded on a desert island with my iPad, that one movie loaded, and a solar battery charger so I could keep this thing charged? I don't know that I could pick one. Let's see where we end up at here. So, favorite movies. Well, let's first of all, I'll talk about a little bit about what I like in movies. And I like a lot of different things in different kinds of movies. So I like comedies, dramas. I live in a house full of women, and several of them are kids, so I'm into, well, not into, but I watch a lot of chick flicks and cartoon type movies. I could not tell you how many times Frozen has played in my house in recent weeks. And I've been listening to the kids singing it for months now since it came out. We saw it in the theater. So I watch a lot of kids stuff. I watch a lot of chick flicks. I like dramas. I like comedies. I like action movies. Man, I just like so many different kinds. So if I was going to start narrowing down favorites, I'm probably going to jump back to my childhood of the 80s and start throwing out some movies in there. So right off the bat, one that I know I have watched many times over and over and over again, it's one that I owned in the past on VHS tape, is Top Gun. I could not tell you how many times I've watched Top Gun over and over and over and replayed the flight scenes and all. I mean, we're talking way before YouTube here. So I've watched Top Gun over and over and over again. Probably another one that I'm going to throw out will be Raiders of the Lost Ark. Really cool movies. Harrison Ford, gotta love him. Sean Connery was in there. So, good actors, cool storyline, cool effects, just a really neat thing of a neat combination of reality and fantasy kind of mixed in there. The fantasy doesn't blow your head off, though. Pirates of the Caribbean, after the first episode, the next ones, it just gradually, for me, got weird, and so the fantasy portion of it just got weirder and weirder, where I was like, what did I just watch? Raiders of the Lost Ark really wasn't like that for me, especially the initial ones. But keeping in the Harrison Ford theme, I'm looking around here and I don't see any model airplanes. I don't see any big boulders or gold idols laying around. But what I do see is R2. What I do see is Yoda. So probably I'm going to have to say my favorite movie or movies are going to be from the Star Wars series. And I'm not even going to try to get into the whole debate. I grew up on Star Wars. I saw the original episode and the original trilogy, which is now 4, 5, and 6. I saw them in the theaters as a child and over and over and over, and we paid to see it. And my parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles all took me to see it at different times. I couldn't tell you how many times I saw the original Star Wars in the movie theaters before it even went out of the theaters. I have an album around here somewhere, an LP, a vinyl, big full-size album somewhere that has like the story of Star Wars on it that I sat around and listened to as a kid over and over and over again. I was really into Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars geek. I couldn't tell you what episode so-and-so happened in or whatever, the Clone Wars. I never really got into all that, but I've seen the original trilogy many, many times. So I'm probably going to have to say, it'd be hard to say that's the one I want to watch on a desert island over and over again. But Star Wars is probably going to be one of my top picks for a favorite movie. So that's where I'm going to leave that, I guess. So some quick information on Star Wars, at least personal stuff for me. My son had never seen Star Wars until a few years ago, and I never saw the original prequel, so it was going to kind of be for both of us. So we had a time when he was going to be down here. He doesn't live with me, but he was going to be down here. He was a preteen or a young teen at the time. And I was trying to decide, how do I need to show my son Star Wars for the first time? We had a Memorial Day weekend where my wife wasn't going to be around, the other kids weren't going to be around. It was just going to be daddy-daughter week, daddy-daughter, Daddy's Son weekend. I've got a house full of women, 3 daughters and 1 son, so I'm going to say daddy-daughter. But Daddy's Son weekend, and I was introducing my son to Star Wars. How proud was I feeling at that? I was upset that he hadn't seen it before, but how proud was it? So I'd been talking about it with him for several weeks. I went and bought the entire 6 DVD box from Best Buy. And then I started having the problem of how should I show it to him, because I was born with Star Wars and I watched what is now episodes 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy. I watched them over and over and over again, but I saw them in release date. And then and I hadn't seen the prequels now, so 1, 2, and 3 I had not seen yet. So I was going to watch them in the order that Lucas released them in. But then I got to thinking, maybe I should watch them in the order that Lucas envisioned them in, which would be 1 through 6. The initial problem I had with that was technology, because I saw them starting in the 70s and progressively getting better. Whereas if you watch them in the order of number, of the envision order, I forget what they call that, but anyway, in progression, you're going to start off with 2000s technology of filmmaking and special effects, and then they're going to get better, and then boom, it's going to jump 30 years in reverse to older times, older looking films, older technologies. So I wasn't crazy about that. So I jumped online, of course, and started researching what is the correct order to watch Star Wars in. I had already known that there would be issues with watching it in 1 through 6 order, because then the whole reveal of Vader, of who he is, the surprise goes away. What I didn't think about, though, is if you watch it in the original release date order, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, at the end of episode 6, there's Yoda and Ben and Luke standing there, and some kid with long hair that you don't know who he is. And so it's kind of a mystery as to who's this creepy looking dude over here with long hair. So I never really thought about that, because it had been a while since I'd watched them before, so I didn't really even think about that. So there's difficulties with watching them in either way. Well, there's a new way of what people are recommending people to watch Star Wars, and it's called the machete order, and I'll put a link down below. But the theory is, as I just said, if you watch them in original release order, there's a creepy guy there at the end that you don't know who he is. If you watch them in episode order, you learn who Darth Vader is, and there's no shock there with who Vader is. So the machete order, it's kind of an ingenious idea, is you watch episode 4 and 5. So in episode order, you're watching what came out first and second, but really they call them 4 and 5 now. Then jump backwards and watch episode 2. Don't even watch episode 1, because in the whole scheme of things, episode 1 has zero bearing on the entire series. So, and the purists hate episode 1 to begin with. So skip episode 1 altogether. So watch 4, 5, and then 2 and 3, and then jump to 6. And so it keeps the surprise. It fills you in on who Anakin is, and then boom, is the big happy ending of everybody together in the end with Luke. So that's called machete order, and again, I'll put the link in the bottom. So there's your quick Star Wars series update there. So yeah, probably I'm going to have to say my favorite movie is Star Wars. Don't know which one. It'd be hard for me to even pick which one. Don't make me do that. So, but we're going with Star Wars. Tune in tomorrow. I'll be in Disney this weekend, so definitely follow me on Twitter, MB168. I'll be posting some pictures, Instagram, some of them, MB168 there as well. So come follow me, watch me in Disney this weekend, having fun. I'll be posting some pics of food and other stuff there that I'll be eating, because there's a special festival going on this weekend, the Epcot Food and Wine Festival. So see you guys tomorrow. I'll have a video still every day, so please come check me out, and we will see you then.